Chris, you just call me?
Yes, by accident, sorry.
You hung up. I'm like, dude, you just called me and hung up on me,
You're
man.
watching it twice.
That's brutal.
I'm so sorry. I'm calling Alfonso Santos, right? I'll keep messing around with this thing.
Oh, you need. Yeah.
You know, is it?
I'm gonna try to get
It's the 489.
Okay.
Want me to call him?
Yeah. You may not recognize the phone number, and the other one?
No, it's Mr. Santos. He's not probably not gonna remember he's in the troops.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Rudy?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're having technical difficulties here with connecting to the video. So we're gonna proceed on phone. Is that fine? You'll be on conference.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so,
Through your cell phone?
yeah, no, it's already here. You can stay on the line.
Okay.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our first Parks Board meeting in quite some time. Very glad to see some new faces. My name is Anita Stanley. I'm the Assistant Director for the Parks and Recreation Department. And we'd like to recognize 4 new board members that have recently been sworn in. Ms. Olga Gentry, welcome.
Good evening, thank you.
Alfonso Santos. Rick Laude. And Robert Ortiz. And I'd like to pass it to Victor Vasquez III, who is our Vice Chair. Mr. Vasquez?
Thank you, Ms. Sally. First, before we begin, I'd like to call this meeting order. The time is 5:43 p.m. Today is Wednesday, August 11, 2021. I am the Vice Chair of the Parks Advisory Committee. I'm Victor Vasquez III, and I'm the representative of District 2. I'd like to welcome and introduce some of the staff members that we have today. We have Assistant Director, Ms. Stanley. We have Ms. Nora May. I'm sorry.
Marina Garcia.
Ms. Marina Garcia, Cristina
Calderon.
Calderon, and Ms. Gloria Landin present here with us today. I'd like to echo that welcoming the new members that we have here present with us today. And now we'd like to proceed over to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll proceed to the roll call. Mr. Alfonso Poncho Ruiz.
Present.
Mr. Sergio Chavez Jr.
Present.
Mr. Victor Vasquez III, myself. Ms. Olga Gentry.
Here.
Present. Mr. Rafael Antonio Martinez.
Present.
Mr. Alfonso Santos. He's not present. Mr. Rick Laudet.
Present.
Mr. Robert Ortiz.
Present.
And Mr. Rodolfo Morales III is joining us through audio.
Present.
Yes.
I'd like to move over to bullet point number 4, approval of minutes for the meeting of January 20, 2021.
I make a motion.
Motion on the table, is there a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? None, motion carries. Item number 5, communications. bullet point number 5, item number 1, recognizing new board members. Communication, that's already been, kind of already did the introduction. Any questions or anyone has any announcements in regards to welcoming our new board members? We'd like to recognize them and we'd like to welcome them. This is the first meeting that we have back in person since March of 2020, so it's been over a year. So this is the very first meeting that we have in person, and hopefully that it can continue despite everything that's going on. Bullet point number 6, action items. The annual election of officers. If you'd like to make a recommendation for chair and vice chair of the board, and we'll have the board members go ahead and start with that. Is there a motion for vice chair and chair?
I recommend we keep the ones we have.
Express interest, do you know?
Which would be Monica
any
and
of the
Rose, no?
positions?
Monica's no longer.
Monica's no
But,
longer
yeah.
here.
Okay.
She's no longer
Then I
serving.
recommend E for chair.
Yeah, Victor
A second.
for chair.
Second.
Mr. Morales, did you have a comment in regards to that?
I didn't hear, the motion that was made.
Right now, the motion is for the chair, because we haven't selected.
For the chairs,
Election.
Mr. Martinez and Mr. Ruiz and Mr. Laurel recommended to, made a motion to appoint me as chair.
Okay, well, if there's a second, I'm for that, if not, I second that motion.
Thank you. So motion and a second for the appointment of Victor Vasquez, myself, as the chair of the City Parks Board.
Second.
There's a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Thank you. Motion carries. We'll need the nomination of a vice chair. It's important in case of the chair is not present, the vice chair takes over the meeting and serves as chair in the interim that the chair is not available. As a co-chair or vice chair, what would be the correct term?
Vice.
Vice chair.
Does anyone want it?
As a vice chair.
I nominate Olga Gentry.
Yes.
Yeah.
A
I
second.
second the motion.
Mr. Morales, there's been a motion and a second to nominate Ms. Gentry as the vice chair of the City Parks Board.
I have no discussion on that, selection.
Motion,
And I
se-
vote for, I guess.
motion second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any against? None? Motion carries.
Who's second?
Well,
I made the motion.
Oh,
No.
second.
Okay.
Second.
And Mr.
All right, so chair is myself, Victor Vasquez, and vice chair is Ms. Gentry. On my behalf, So on my behalf, I'd like to really thank you all for this opportunity of giving me the opportunity to serve as y'all's chair. And you know, if y'all ever feel otherwise, y'all can take that vote again. So I'm not, I won't hold it against anyone. So thank you. I'm delighted. I'm excited to serve as your chair for at least the next, the time being. We'll move over to bullet point number 7, staff reports. And we have.
I'm sorry, back to the annual election, when do we usually elect officers? I know that since we have.
It's around this time
Oh,
every
okay,
year.
okay.
Yeah, so we hadn't had an election of officers almost 2 years now, right? And of course, the previous chair, and in between, there was elections, and some council members and board members did not return. So with that, this is a lot of a new board. Many of you are new appointees. There has been a change now within. So we just by us arriving early today and having quorum says a lot. That we're gonna be committing to serving on this board. So looking forward to, very excited about that. Ms. Gentry, would you have any words that you'd like to say here?
Well, I appreciate the confidence because I'm a brand new member. I look forward to learning a lot. and serving our community through this board.
Got promoted on your first day of work?
Exactly. I think they nominated the people who are absent, not the people who are here.
No, so welcome. Now we'll move over to staff reports, and number one, we have the COVID-19 as it relates to the Parks Department. I believe that's a presentation by Ms. Stanley.
Can you ask to see if the weather is working or something? Yeah.
I keep getting that. Ms. Rudy, I think you just received a notification for the WebEx.
He's on.
I just heard something and I'm about to, open WebEx, launch meeting.
Just tell Coach we change his password again. He's up.
There we go.
Very good. Very good. We're in the middle over there.
I'm going to hang up.
Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, it can be facing the screen. I mean, you're gonna have a presentation, right?
He's
Yeah.
gonna need to see
Yeah, so you can see the presentation.
She can't see the screen? She's not gonna be able to see the screen?
I'll have to share whatever information we have there. I'll share it in the computer. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Interesting times, interesting times. I'd like to state that Coach Gomez would love to be here, and he actually is here. He's at the emergency council meeting tonight. Council called a meeting at 5 o'clock this evening to discuss additional situations regarding COVID. So, interestingly enough, that's our first topic tonight here at the board meeting. So, I'm willing that meeting will end soon so he can jump in and take over. COVID as it relates to this department, what we wanted to talk about and what he wanted to talk about is what the department has been doing since this started back in March. And what the department has been doing with regard to your recreation staff. You've got recreation centers, you've got aquatics staff that was on board, and management did not want to relieve anybody of their positions. So we had to reposition them. And one of the projects that we worked on for some time was the beautification. So we had rec specialists in the parks painting. Nora May was overseeing that project with regard to the staff. We did painting, cutting, they were cutting the grass. You didn't mow.
No.
Your staff didn't mow,
No,
so
staff didn't mow, but
it was
mostly
pretty much,
was
and picking up
picking up trash and
And
painting.
so they were in the parks. They were in the parks 5 days a week. We also had 20 staff members at the health department doing contact tracing. And so they were there up until just a few months ago. They came back. And then they also helped at community development with these federal monies that were given. They needed staff members to assist in applications for the public that were there for assistance, whether it be in housing or in food, due to this situation. So that's a little bit how our department has gone. Our special events were very quiet for quite some time, and it wasn't until recently, and Ms. May will touch on that in a little bit, that we started implementing special events again. And as the availability, I guess, of the situation rose to allow us to do events is how we did them. You know, first it was none, then it went to only outdoor events, and it's still at outdoor events, but there are, before it was no more than 10 people, you know, like ribbon cuttings for council, and they were spread out, and masks and what have you. So what still remains to be opened is the recreation centers. And that's one of the discussions that they're having right now. And so on the table is the possibility of allowing the centers to open up, some centers to open up for seniors 62 and up. And so we're pending on that. That is supposed to happen on the 16th of August, which is Monday. On the 15th of August, all aquatics close because this is the time we do close. And so the pools will close to the general public. We've asked our aquatics manager to extend that as staff permits because he's got a lot of employees that have resigned to go back to school. And so they're traveling back wherever they're in schooling. And so we're trying to extend that a little bit to provide amenities for the public to enjoy. And swimming, of course, is a very safe one. You're in a body of chlorine water. So, and so the splash pads also, we're trying to extend those and take them through, perhaps another month or so. So pretty much that is how our department, we've been very busy. Projects don't stop. Chris is one of our project assistants, assisting 4 council members, District 1 through 4. And she has a lot of projects on her plate. Council asks, we discuss, we plan, identify funding processes, and then she takes that project and makes sure the vendor gets quotes and what have you. So that is her role. So she and Ms. Diana Martinez is the other assistant, and she handles projects 5 to 8, and they have both been very busy. We may not be open, but that doesn't mean we're not swamped. So development projects, this is what the department has been working on, and maintaining the parks, because the parks, when they opened, people are out of the parks. They're not in events, but they're walking the trails. They're playing tennis. We opened up a bike program to allow people to individually ride bicycles. And so we lend them out. They call it a rental program. It is not. It is a lend program, and you need to bring your driver's license and you will get a bike. And these are $500 bikes. These are very expensive bikes. They're meant for...
Mountain bike? Where's this at?
We've got them at 5 sites. We've got them at Father Magnico, Haynes, Independence,
Jovita.
Jovita, and what was the last one? And Madrigal.
I know that during last summer, you all were doing a great job of communicating through social media and stuff, even the news, that the rentals were available.
Yeah, it's been a very successful program. We've had over 10,000 people, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
have pictures and numbers.
Okay, we've got over 10,000 people that have participated in that program since we started it in June. So,
I didn't even know about that.
yeah.
Any plans on expansion into other, like maybe bike trails or?
Well, that's exactly what we were discussing just before this meeting, and that is a very good idea. They are mountain bikes, and that was one of the things that Coach and I were discussing before this meeting. You don't know when a program is going to be successful until you actually implement it. And so it may be successful somewhere up north, whether, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, North Carolina, wherever. And you try to bring it to Laredo, and it's not so much. This one was extremely successful. It met the need of the citizens of the city, and they grasped it.
How did that work? Well, I didn't even know that.
We have over 60 bikes, and the only problem is we need to replenish them because now they're getting a lot of use. Before, we had bike programs in the rec centers with bike classes and what have you, and we had a ridership, but nothing like this. This is every day, 7 days a week.
6
6
days.
days a week.
And I was telling Ms. Stanley right before the meeting, Mr. Lauret and I, and another friend that we have in common, we walked over through the Shiloh Bike Trail on Saturday morning with kind of seeing what that Shiloh Bike Trail offers. And what I was suggesting to Ms. Stanley, that's something that we can possibly see, is that have a rental station there. If you want to go out there, mountain bikes are a little bit pricey, but if you put a station there where you can rent 10 of them, you produce your debit credit card to rent that bike, go out, enjoy the trail. The Shiloh Trail is a great trail. So, it's something that we can look into. We'll come up with a plan. And I know that it's over up in the northern district, so we can collaborate and then eventually have something like that back in place where rentals are also available for the trails.
Are those bike rental stations manned or are they?
The ones that we have currently are manned. Staff mans them, 6 days a week, and we're there early in the morning and in the evening till about 8 dusk. And so, it does take the manpower, but when it's a program that this is as successful as it turned out to be, it's something that we do want to continue.
Well, the bike's secured once the,
Yes,
because
we've
you know
got,
our parks get vandalized
Yeah.
and everything.
Are they left there overnight or they taken and?
they are left there. It depends on what location it's at. If it's at the one at North Central Park, we put them inside the pool area. If it's, so we've got different areas that we do have storage sheds that we are able to secure them at. And so that's and that's one of the.
And then we have the proper contracts where the city's not held liable if they get into an accident.
Waiver.
There's a waiver.
There's a
Like there's a waiver, like you have the legal
Yes, and
documents, I
somebody
guess.
is.
You also have
signed
bikes
out.
like us tall guys, 6'4" guys?
Yes, sir. They're different sizes. They're for kids to adults, small, medium,
Yeah,
large.
they got training wheels. They got the training wheels.
Tricycle.
That's
Tricycles we don't
awesome.
have.
I like
I didn't
riding.
know that. That's awesome. And I live right there by Haynes, so.
Well, there you go. And that's a beautiful
That's the
trail.
best trail.
That's the best
We've
That's the
got-
best trail.
yeah, we've got a
Really?
lot of staff.
I didn't even know that.
All the way to the river.
I didn't know what that Shiloh trail was like until Saturday.
I haven't even, oh, you saw it already? I
Well,
haven't seen it.
the Shiloh, not the Haynes one.
I heard the Haynes was good, but I haven't seen it.
I don't
Well, if
know,
you
I've
wanna go to
never
the
seen-
Shiloh Trail, just let us know, we take some bikes and you guys can,
When I joined
we
up, I
can
didn't know
show
how
you
many
the
parks
trail
we
on
had.
bikes.
We walked it on Saturday
I
morning.
know,
of course.
but not the same.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man. That is awesome. Good job.
So, that is Parks and Recreation Department under COVID conditions. So, as I said, when I started, we've been very busy trying to be more creative in how we do activities, programs within the keeping of, the health of our community. So, all right.
We have now number 2, under staff reports, the website status. I know that Mr. Morales, he's still on, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he's not at his desk.
Oh. Mr. Morales, I know you had brought up this matter in regards to, we could further discuss it. So regarding the website status, and I don't know if Parks would have something of an update.
Yes. At this point, I'd like to introduce Marina Garcia. She has been instrumental in helping us update our program, our website. I would like to preface this with Marina Garcia has been with the department for over 18 years. She's a supervisor at Hillside Recreation Center and has been instrumental in running several programs for our department. She's in charge of the youth committee, which has been very successful, and I'd like her to talk about it here in a little bit. And she's also oversees our Spurs League for our youth, and so I'd like her to touch on that in a little bit. No, this isn't a eulogy, but kind of a little bit for us it is. She's leaving us, and so she's going to Longview and to greener pastures. So we're gonna miss her. But having said that, I would like her to give a presentation on our website updates.
Thank you so much. Again, my name is Marina Garcia, and I've been with the department 18 years. This is like a eulogy. I'm getting touchy here. Ms. Stanley has given me the opportunity to help revamp the website. It is something that we have kind of been lax on due to COVID and the lack of programming and things like that we've been missing out, especially at the recreation centers. And so I'm going to go ahead and just give y'all a little idea of what we're working on or what I have done. And then I'm actually going to pull up the, hopefully, live version that we'll be letting go live on Monday, of course, with approval from the department. So if we can go to the next slide. Actually, I kind of went through the first two already, so.
That one.
Okay, so that's kind of like the before and after. So the before, as you can see, a couple of boxes that we had available, kind of just talking about the rec centers, the different parks, the different pools, things like that. We are going to be incorporating a couple more boxes there to the site. We can go to the next one. Sorry. I'm going to walk around, is that okay? I'll go around. So the additions that we're adding to the website would be obviously our special events.
Huh?
Yeah. If you go to play, oh, sorry.
Where's the mouse?
At 5.
Well,
Okay, there you go.
oh, it's
So-
still not big enough.
Yeah,
You don't need
I know,
one.
sorry about that. As you can see, we are adding a button or a box that says special events. It will have exactly what we offer month per month. And so as you can see, we are holding off on January and holding off on August because, you know, we do different events all year long. But this will help the public see exactly what it is that may be coming up, you know, father-daughter dance, mother-son dance, special needs dance, summer program, things like that, so that the public will be aware of, oh, you know what, this is coming up, I need to contact the Parks Department, and it has our information there at the top. Okay, next one. Next one is our Parks and Development. So what we're going to be doing here is informing the public or giving them an idea of what we actually have working. That would be any kinds of new additions to parks, and then of course, you know, new parks, new amenities that we'll be adding to each of these individual parks or facilities. So we will have 2 areas, which will be like the pending area and then the completed area. So that'll have just a little description, pictures, before, after, that sort of thing. But so that the public will know exactly what we're trying to do and how we're improving our system. Okay? Next one. So senior programming is really big at the rec center. I don't know if all of y'all are aware, there are a couple of recreation centers that we have that are just targeted for senior programming. So we've actually given them their own box so that we can let people know what we have going on, you know, from different events to different classes, different programs. We'll also be adding a gallery to the end, to the bottom of our homepage as well. And there we'll be able to display all of the pictures that we've taken at different special events and projects that we have going on. Next one. Okay, we've also added a survey to the homepage. You see that big Take Our Survey button? You hit that and then it'll pop up the Start button here. It'll be asking 8 questions, just asking what their needs are, what they'd like to see in their area. Gets a little background information on the ages in the household. Then it'll ask them for their address and their zip code. So we can kind of target and see what districts are needing what services. Okay, next. We've also added a video to each rec center, so as you pop up or you check out the rec center closest to you, a video will pop up. We've been working with our PIO on that, the city PIO, to get the videos and all the information, and so we do have some videos. I will be showing you one in a little bit once I get on the page. So as you click, like this is Haynes Rec Center. So as soon as you go to Haynes Rec Center, this video will pop up. It's about 1 minute and 30 seconds long. It'll just give them an intro to actually what amenities or things we have available at each rec center. So far we have 3 that have been made, Haynes, Hillside, and Faskin. So as we get the other ones, they will be added to the page as well. And I think that's, once you see it, you'll be really pleased with it. And other things that we're working on, virtual tours of parks and trails. So I love to hear that, you know, Shiloh and all these things. We kind of want to get like the GoPros and just have one of our staff members go through the trail so we can actually show it on the website to be like, hey, that's a cool trail, or hey, you know, I should go and check that out. Ms. Stanley also wants us to get like, y'all seen those virtual tours of homes, you know, you click on the button, you can walk through. We want to do that for the parks, so that, you know, they can say, hey, you know, this park has a field, this park has a splash, you know, that kind of thing. So we're trying to incorporate those sorts of things to each park. And of course, well, we're doing it already with the web.
And Ms. Garcia, I can add, and I know that it's something that we had kind of mentioned already before, maybe even having a mobile app for the parks, you know, something, I know that, you know, one step at a time.
Right.
Eventually being able to add all of that to an app, and I don't know if that's something that.
Kind of like the way PD has,
Yeah.
PD has an app like that they'll tell you road closures, that kind of thing. That could be something that we look into to, you know, this event is today, or this is open, or this one's closed, that sort of thing. That would be great. We can look into that, Ms. Stanley. I'll definitely get information for you. Also, we'll be upgrading some of our boxes that are already there, like our leagues, our fields, our parks. We'll also be updating the information on a monthly basis as far as the blogs go. I know we've been kind of lax with this since, you know, we've kind of been dormant and doing other things right now. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to get on the computer real quick and I'm gonna show you, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm just gonna show you what the kind of changes are that we're making to it right now, just so that y'all can kind of grasp it more.
Marina, you're gonna need them all.
Oh. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about the page. It's just, it's gonna get really nice. Have y'all seen the page before, what it was like? Okay, so I'm gonna show you the before, and then we'll go into the after.
Actually, yeah, I did. This last week I was looking for the
Okay.
times for the North Central Park pool.
Okay,
So,
okay.
this is not launched yet, right?
This is what we have right
That's the
now.
current one, right?
But I mean, the new ones, when does that start?
Hopefully Monday.
Monday.
If we can get it all approved by the department, then we'll make it go live. It takes about 72 hours so we can go live. So this is what we're looking at right now. There's our bike information, our flyer. So I know you were asking, where did you post it?
Yeah.
It's right there. It talks about our pools. Oh, I'm sorry. And then our event that we have on Saturday, which is our bull run. So this is what it looked like before. It just had information. So here, hikes and bikes, if you click on it, it shows you maps of different trails. So we have that available for people too, because I know a lot of people don't know exactly where the trail goes. So we have that kind of stuff.
You'll have the Shiloh Bike Trail on there?
Yeah, that's the one we're just showing, huh?
That was North Central Park.
Oh, was it North Central?
Yeah.
It was one of them. So this is the blog area that I was talking about. We have a Color Your Favorite Park facility. We'll be updating that on a monthly basis. Also using the parks and open space, we're kind of doing that sort of COVID. And of course, this area too, which is like a hidden gem, the Chapon Hike and Bike Trail. I mean, if you were to go down there, you would just be floored. I never knew it was there. I've been in Laredo 18 years, you know? So when I first saw it, I was just, oh my goodness. So this kind of just gives you a little bit of what it's like. Have y'all been there to the back area? Y'all need to check it out. Definitely need to check it out. So this is what it looked like before. You know, very simple, kind of, you know, what it was, right? Because we weren't really doing a lot of stuff yet. But, so this is going to be the revamped. This computer's funny.
I got a question, whether,
Go ahead.
do we have police presence shown around those areas so people will know that it's safe to go? That, I mean, they might not to be there exactly at that time, but, you know, there might be police on bicycles, police,
There's
you
a
know.
park patrol that's there.
Oh, yeah, we say, well, we don't have that much park patrol, that's why.
We have the constables and the sheriffs that are there. I know at North Central for sure they're there. I've seen them at Bartlett, I've seen them at different areas, so there is a presence there. They're also on the gators, the four-wheelers, riding around in the trails too, so there is a presence there, yes, sir.
And we do have our city police, they do go from park to park. And so,
Now, one of the issues that I saw during COVID was, my in-laws live right next to a park. I'm not gonna say any park because I would go every day to pick up the kids. But the parks were supposed to be closed, but they were like, in the baseball fields and stuff, and they were packed. The question I have is, I'm not gonna go up there and tell them, hey, leave, you all can't be here.
Yeah, you can do that at your park.
Well, this was Gentry, she's the vice chair. But the issue that I have is, do you call PD? Do you all have a number where?
You can call 795-2800.
Because the thing about it is especially if we're implementing a, hey, nobody goes to the park and this and that, but yet you have baseball teams practicing, to me, it's like, well, we're promoting stay indoors, don't go out there. And the parks were, you know, you have baseball games going on, and it's like.
no, definitely call PD, if that situation comes about, and PD will let us know. And so, you know, they'll take care of it right then and there, but they will let us know so that we can address it the following day. Or right then and there, it just depends on what the situation is.
Okay.
795-2800. Yeah, it's not an emergency. You know.
Yeah.
They'll try to answer you there at dispatch.
And I know that the Parks Department has done very well about putting up some signage, because at least I've seen it on the Bartlett Park. In case of any non-emergency call here, you know, you see anything suspicious or anything.
And the thing is, it wasn't suspicious, they were just playing when they shouldn't be, like, you
And of
know,
course,
we had all the parks closed.
Under the circumstance.
Yeah. So this is the new one, hopefully we'll be launching it. We've also added a sponsor and instructors button there on top. If y'all can see right here, we have a sponsors and instructors tab there now. Because we have a lot of people that want to volunteer their time or offer classes and lessons, and we don't really know, or they don't know who to contact, so they can put their information there and provide it. Also for sponsorships for, anything that we host, they can fill out the form and we'll contact them directly. Like I mentioned, these are where the recreation centers are. This is just our special events, and then this is where we've added those 3 buttons, as you can see. This is a gallery. This is an event that we had. I want to say that this is at East-West. It's called Benavides Park now? Arturo Benavides Park. So as you can see, we had a slip and slide, face painting, we had our train there, and it was Parks and Rec month, so we had a little picture frame where people took pictures. So we'll be updating this on a bi-weekly, monthly basis, just so people can say, we always ask, can we take your picture? And people are like, yeah, well, where can I find it? Where are you putting me? And we want them to, be attracted to the website, see what else we have to offer, that sort of thing. So we'll be adding that gallery there. And of course, this is that survey that I was telling y'all about. So here, like I said, we've added these 3 boxes. And I'm gonna go ahead and click on a recreation center. And like I mentioned, the video will play. So that's the first thing that they'll see. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all watch that.
Welcome to James and Maria Luisa Haynes Recreation Center, located on 2102 Clark's Crossing Drive on District 2. Let's look inside. Sitting on 8 acres at 57,000 square feet, the center features many fitness rooms, swimming pool, basketball courts, and more. Upstairs, it has an aerobics room with lots of natural lighting. It can be used as a dance studio, complete with mirrors, bars, and equipment. Also, there's a fitness center with state-of-the-art equipment, stunning views of the pool, and the Tucumã bike and hike trails to inspire your workout. It has an indoor walk and jog trail with a special floor that feels great experience. The trail wraps around the upper level on top of the basketball courts. On the ground level, plenty of natural lighting hits the floor in one of the biggest open spaces in the center, a double gymnasium that includes basketball and volleyball courts. Outside, you can enjoy a beach entry pool with a play skate and an integrated 3-lane pool to practice your lap swimming. Right next to the pool is a play area for children with special needs. Also outdoors are the state-of-the-art racquetball courts, and the facility offers 4 tennis courts. To support all of your fitness and swimming activities, Haynes Recreation Center offers private changing rooms, bathrooms, and free public lockers. We hope you visit Haynes Recreation Center, a vibrant facility where people of all ages and abilities can gather to practice their fitness. You can learn more by visiting LaredoParksandRec.com.
So there we go. That's what we'll be seeing when we click on the rec centers. I think that in itself,
Very impressive.
That's very good.
it's going to be wonderful. I myself, when I look at it, I'm like, oh my God, I need to go to Haynes. Even though I'm Hillside, right? But, so those are the sorts of things that we'll be having available there for each rec center. So those are just some of the little additions that we've made to the website. I think, it's kind of gone leaps and bounds, I feel. And so Ms. Stanley will be working with staff to get that going for y'all and keep it going and keeping it updated. And so,
Do any of the centers have weight rooms?
yes. So it showed the state-of-the-art weight room there. Yeah, they each have them.
All
Every
of the
rec center has
centers,
them.
every rec center has a weight room.
Yes, so,
And just the rec centers that are the largest have the larger weight rooms. You have El Edén, which is at about 22,000 square feet, Haynes, which is at about 43, and then Baskin, which is at about 43 and change.
and this is our survey that I was telling y'all about. Really quick, just, what is it that y'all need in your household? And you just go through adult soccer fields, golf, gymnasiums.
Oh, golf, driving.
And then we go to the second question, which is the most important out of the ones there? We asked that, a couple of times. First, second, third, fourth, just so we can get a feel of it from the people. Then we asked the age group within the household, just so we'll know who we're catering. Race and ethnicity, of course, Latino not, gender, and then we ask for the address and zip code. And then at that point, all of those surveys will get forwarded to us, so we can look and see exactly which district needs what, or what they're asking for. So it'll help us. But other than that, those are pretty much some of the changes that we've made to the website, and of course with approval, we'll get that going. Also, we have our Facebook that was added at the top, so that it'll link them to our Facebook, which we also, coordinate and put our new activities, flyers, events, and things like that.
I got a question. The way things are nowadays, is it okay to ask what your race is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rules are already.
Because people are now, okay.
Yeah.
Because remember, they put other if you don't want to disclose.
Yeah, also on female, male, I also put non-binary, so, we have those options there for people.
Now that you don't know what to do, don't you?
Yes, I know. I just looked at different cities to see what they had and what questions they asked. I think this one, Corpus, Dallas, and San Antonio each had one like this, so we went ahead and did that. Any other questions or comments, or?
Mr. Morales, would you have any questions? I know that this is something that you had requested. Rudy?
He's there.
Anything specific?
Okay.
Perfect.
Well, this is a project that we've been working on for a few months already. It's something that we knew. A Facebook page, website is something that is very fluid. It needs to be updated frequently as the information changes and other aspects within the department. So we're very happy with where the evolution of the site right now, and it will continue to change as the department does, and the amenities that we have, and the information that we need to project to the community. So if you all have
Kudos to you.
Great job.
Very nice.
One of the good things that we have this now is, if let's say we have the live concerts, like just show clips of like, this is what it would look like, because we have those when we have the outdoor concerts or the movie in the park, like just to show like.
The tournaments as well.
Yeah, like this is the way it is. Like just so that way people, I think it'll motivate people to go out there like, hey, you know what, I want to go to the next one, or because you hear about them, where you're saying, well, is it too packed, is it too, but if you actually see it, it's like, hey, you know what, I think the kids, do a nice outing, yeah.
Do any of the parks have incorporated amphitheaters? Like
We have two amphitheaters right now, and some council members wanted to build some more. And we could do plays and, little bands and stuff like that, so it's in the process.
For the new members, I'd like to recognize that now Coach Gomez, the director of Parks, is here present with us.
Good to see you. Thank you. Sorry for being, we had a meeting between a meeting, an unexpected meeting at City Council. 5 o'clock, they had an emergency meeting, just FYI. They are going to, the reason I had to attend is because we're opening up rec centers on Monday. So I wanted to see what direction we're gonna get. All right, and I know y'all spoke about that or not. Okay. So, as of what I heard right now is they're going to follow up with the governor, and at 12 o'clock on Friday, they're gonna come back and have another special meeting so that they can see what direction we're gonna do.
Oh, I'm sure he's gonna say, open up.
Yeah, no, he said he's willing to challenge anybody that's, but we just gotta see how it's gonna go with us on Monday. So we will definitely let you see what happens.
With that, since we're also talking about the website real briefly, if we can also go into a possibility of getting some kind of price, what it would cost for us to have an app, and then, what would be the cost and how can we pay for it? The mobile app. So if we can, if we could definitely look into that and then have it as a proposal. I know that budget, just passed, but so they can tap into some funds or look into it.
Is this still local, the website?
This is done by Liquid Web. And so that was phase 2. As a matter of fact, we had talked about the mobile app when we were implementing this, but we had only budgeted for this. This, creating a website is very costly. And so we did this part. The mobile app is going to be the second. So now that we've got it updated, I think we're closer to initiate that process. We'll get the cost. I will send you the bill.
having a sponsor, encouraging businesses to get out sponsors.
We can get the sponsorship, don't
You don't think Academy
Yeah.
jump on something like that where here's the official
Anybody that wants
sponsor?
marketing,
The marketing or advertising.
Yeah, cause I'm thinking if you're Academy, it's like, hey, I want to be the main
Right.
sponsor of Parks and Recs.
It's not a bad thought.
Yeah, you know.
I'm just gonna answer, I know, thank you for being here, everyone else, it's just been really challenging times for us because nobody, of course, for everybody, but through our department, I wanna thank everyone here now before I even get started. Because our department went from 225 down to about 100, and then all our people got spread all over the place. They went to go help with the health department. Some of them went to go with police and fire. Some of them went to go work with community service. You know, so we were all spread out, and we had to do the same amount of work with less hands, right? And now we're challenged, you know, but now we're little by little, we're coming back, and we're starting to get more people back. We got our people back. Unfortunately, now we might, God forbid, we have to go back and do that over again. So we've kind of hit, like everybody else, we've had some block, you know, that we have to, hurdles that we overcome. But I think I got a great staff here that, you know, that's got it.
Very, I applaud you, JJ, for keeping, you didn't have to lay anyone off, you kept everyone, even if we had to send people to different departments, the bottom line is we're still helping the families and everything in your area. And
very true.
I commend you for that.
No, that came from.
It is difficult to kind of keep everyone on the payroll when it's like, how do you justify, well, the parks are closed?
No, exactly. So let me tell you, I'm the first leader, and then you can see it right now in the budget. You can see what you're gonna see right now in a little bit what our employees were doing in the meantime. They weren't just doing their thumbs. They were, okay, you know what, right now is a good time to improve our parks. Let's go maintenance, let's go paint them up, let's go fix them, let's go clean them up. All these parks, if we don't have time, or our guys go and cortan and sacate and they leave, they don't have time to go and beautify the park. So we did beautification, which you will see here in just a minute.
The soccer fields,
And I know they were also helping with the food drives and the water drives.
I just think it was an excellent, it was
We did every drive that we can think of. The first one, Park, and that's fine, that's what we're here for, we're here to serve. They know that they're gonna count on us, and we're never gonna say no.
And you guys are always in the forefront, because I know like with the water issues, you guys are passing out water bottles and everything at the parks. So hats off to you guys for all the hard work and everything you all do.
So I think that covers the number 2 with the website status. We'll move over to number 3 with special events.
Okay. I'll go ahead.
On special events, I'd like to introduce Mona May. She is our recreation superintendent, oversees the growth of projects with regard to recreation in our department. She's been with us for 3 years. And special events that are implemented by the department. These are events that the director has asked us, you know, this is what we want to see, or we present, you know, we'd like a concert in the park, or what have you, whatever special event that is driven by the department itself. Those are the ones that Ms. Norame handles, and so I'd like her to give you a little presentation about what we've been doing.
If I can just piggyback a bit off of that. So what I do with the department is we have a lot of events that are council driven. Like a councilman saying, you know what, I want to have a
mud run,
or I want to have a
tree light,
whatever. Yes, anything that's council driven. Mr. Ramiro Ramos, which is not here with us, he's in charge of working that area. Anything that's park related that we drive, for example, these movies and theater park, Ms. Nora May handles it. But yeah, we share the same staff, all right? And one of the things that I did, members of the board, was our grounds crew guys were being pulled. They'll work from 8 to 3:30 or 4, and then we had an event.
A movie at night.
Movie at night until 3:30, 11 o'clock at night, and we will pull them here and left and right. Okay, but go set up, and guess what was taking the hit? Our parks sometimes. Our parks would not get caught up. So one of the things I decided was that, and speaking, said, okay, let's get a special crew. I guess your special crew that our rec center staff, all they're gonna do is they're gonna handle all the special events. So any special events, whether it be council driven or parks and rec driven, the rec staff, and you can see it again in the budget, the rec staff handles that. The grounds crew guys, pues si no tenemos, so we don't need them to go pull them out. You guys, you need to take care of our parks, because pobrecito, they will run 7 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, and then get up and they go. So that's one of the adjustments, and thank goodness through the pandemic, we were able to put our employees to, you know, I tell them, it's no different than managing a baseball, you know, you just gotta ask what you have and make it work, you know, and plan it out, you know, and so, hey, I need some pictures, but we're gonna somehow way to figure it out to make the game work, you know, so that's what we did.
And with that, Coach, I'll commend you and your staff, everybody that was part of the 4th of July events. I was at the 4th of July event, but I know that there was one before in Independence. On the 3rd, there was one on Independence Hill where you all left at about 2 in the morning and then still showed up early on the next day for the 4th of July event at the Ciudad Rec Center. That drew out a huge crowd for the fireworks. That was very, very well managed out there. You know, great job as always. You know, that was right on.
And one of the things I want to recommend next year for the proclamation, maybe we should do it July 4th, because I know that July is Parks and Rec, where we do an event rather than, no disrespect, chamber, go to an actual event. Go to an actual event, beginning of the month, 4th of July, or the 1st of July, or just so that way we're kicking it off at a park.
And that's the great way of promoting the park, being at a park.
At a park,
yeah. And you know,
July 4th, sir.
so
Yeah, July is Parks and Rec month, so we normally we have a little kickoff. This time we had what was it, like middle of July by the time we had it, I think it was. So that's a great idea.
Like just kick it off, whether it's a Tecos game, someone throws the opening pitch or whatever. But I'm just saying, we kick it off at an actual park.
Yeah,
where
we actually had one thing I did for our employees, you know, is that we had Parks and Rec night at the Tecos, free entrance, and we got them free hot dogs, and hey, here you go, guys, go take it, appreciate everything you do. And then the end of July, we open up the Lazy River, by the way, and hey, parks, take your family, you know, enjoy the Lazy
We're
River.
talking of appreciation.
There you go, you got exactly what it is, so that's, you know,
They
I
deserve
think
it.
morale is important.
They deserve it.
Morale is very important.
And especially
we'll
this
present
time,
Ms. May.
when
Ready for
everything they went through
presentation.
was all over the place.
Ms. May, we're sorry. Ms. May. We're all, we went on right away.
That's part of our event, and that's how we are. I mean, we do left and right. So we started with events on the month of June, and this is council driven, but with our help, because it had a lot to do with the outdoor events. So it was a family night out, overnight, at Jovita Hidalgo Progreso Park, where we had outdoor activities and fishing and games, and then we finished with the movie, and then they stayed overnight at the park. So that, our first event, we're really, because of all this COVID, been closed for over a year, so we were finally able to do our first event.
Where is that on the bottom, that amphitheater? Where is that?
That's the amphitheater.
Bartlett?
Yeah, Bartlett, Jovita Hidalgo.
That is nice.
That's a bargain park.
Yeah, that's Bartlett.
New fishing pier.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's the new fishing
It's a
pier.
bargain park thing.
Yeah.
That is very nice.
And you haven't been, the new fishing pier is also really nice. It didn't have one, so. Our next event, 4th of July, which is also council driven. And we did have 2 crews for this. We did set up real early, and then the same crew set up the next day early, so we kind of split them up because it was gonna be a long day. But it turned out, both events turned out really nice. This is Independence, and the other one is, can you change, please?
Sorry.
Fray de Benavides Sports Complex.
Which is the other one.
Different events, from watermelon to, you went too fast.
Sorry, I'm trying to go back.
Correcto.
One more.
To that one, yes.
Thank you, Chris.
I'm so sorry.
So we had different outdoor events and watermelon contest and plus the fireworks at night. You can go to the next one.
Now, at these events, do we have a lot of people, like, do we get like head counts, like how many?
These events have
people?
been going for several years, and they, well, the Benavides is the first year, but we've always done them in Independence, and they are packed.
And we usually get, anywhere from
What's a
10, 15,000, 8
8
to
to
10,000.
10,000.
Yeah.
That's good, that's good data.
Mhm.
When you go back to council and say, hey, we need more money because this is the traffic that we're bringing in.
Yes.
That's what we need. We
Budget for that.
Yeah, we need to let them know that we don't only have 500 people showing up, we have 8 to 10,000 people showing up.
This is our very successful Bikes in the Parks rental.
Hold on, hold on.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
What was that?
Hi, Rudy Morales. I have a question. When we use Parks and Rec staff for these, council-driven projects, does your department pay for that overtime, or are those funds allocated?
Okay.
And reason being is I think if that's the case, well, you guys need to ask for more money to cover those costs.
Right. Mr. Morales, JJ Gomez, yes, to answer your question, 75 to 80% of our money our employees are paid from OT comes from our budget. Now, if it's, sometimes a councilman or councilwoman will say, hey, you know what, we're gonna tap into my account, I'm gonna put so much money, for an event, and then sometimes we could tap into that account. But to answer your question, Mr. Morales, 75 to 80% of what's paid for personnel comes from our budget. And
It seems to me that maybe this whole council-driven projects and stuff may need an entire staff on its own to act. I mean, I think it's probably outgoing, you guys can handle, and it's neglected parts a little.
that's correct. No, that's correct. And that's one of the things that you heard me say is that, we kind of put all the rec staff, full-timers and part-timers, to go anything that's council-driven, because in previous years, we had, like you said, groundskeepers will be there, and they'll do everything. But, I mean, like you said, our parks, we have over 100 parks, over 100 parks that we gotta take care of. So it's just a matter of putting the personnel that we have in the rec centers and let them host or let them manage all these council-driven. Now, to give you the FYI for everyone, each council member has 6 events that they can have a year. Okay? So they can have 6 events. So that's
48.
That's 48 events, and they really want to pull the string on each one of them. All right, so yes, it is challenging for us. Budget-wise, go ahead.
One of the events that we've spoken about in the past as a committee is when you guys have to do all these Christmas events, put up all these lights. I mean, those are crazy times for your staff. I think this has become a problem, to be honest, for you guys.
Correct.
And I don't know how we as a committee can express that to council, decide what to do for our members, but
Right.
it's important.
Yes, sir, and I appreciate that. I think in what you're just saying, it is challenging for us, because I know each council members want their Christmas lights and all that, but I think in speaking to your council members and maybe have a plan and said, okay, we're gonna have North Laredo, Central Laredo, South Laredo, and designate some areas, and then maybe rotate them every year to different, we keep 3 only, but we rotate them throughout the areas of the city. Because there was a time, and I hear horror stories. I just came on board 2 years ago as a director. I heard horror stories. They got to about 7 or 8 Christmas lightings, and not even the North Pole had so many Christmas lights. So
It was here?
so luckily, I think, in speaking to your council members, maybe that you can represent, say, you know what, maybe on the Christmas lighting, let's pick 3 designated areas, and then every year we rotate. I think that's a suggestion.
I think I would like for us to put that on our next agenda as a committee. And I think we should discuss it with our council members, but I think maybe we should also send our chair or another representative to council and express.
I would recommend against that, just because we have the ear of the councilman who appointed us, and if we talk to our council members, I wouldn't want to go in public and then it gets ugly. I think if we can approach whoever appointed us and say, hey, we need to either do a schedule where JJ says, hey, you know what, we're gonna start tree lightings the day after Thanksgiving, and we'll do District 1 and 2 Thursday or Friday, Saturday, and then we'll do the other ones throughout the week, just so that way your staff is not running all over the place. But I'm thinking, I wouldn't want to go public, because if it does get out of hand, because we're appointed by our councilman, let's talk to them directly. I mean, I know who appointed me, I can call him on the phone and we can have a conversation about this.
Yeah, because
I don't think it has to be something where we go in front of council. or-
And I think first it could be discussed as a committee. We can get to that, Mr. Morales. We have the items for next meeting, and of course, we could take that into consideration as your item.
I had a question real quick. So
Go ahead.
it's 6 Parks and Rec events?
6 Parks and Rec.
Per councilman?
Per council, and there's 8 of them.
So 48 events.
But having said that, they don't all
Right.
go into the 6,
They don't all have
you know.
Thank God.
They average, honestly, they average, I want to say on the average about 4. Right? But they average have throughout the year, on a normal year, about 4
But
events.
if you think about it, let's say if we do hit the 48 number, there's 52 weeks in a year, so you're saying, let's say everyone
Yeah.
takes it, you're looking at 40, let's say one event a week,
Yeah.
that's 48.
Right, no, it's still, like Mr. Morales said, you know, we're spread thin, you know, we're spread thin. You know, it's just that, you know, we have to schedule, if you can talk to your councilman, say, hey, you know what, maybe we can spread out.
I'll tell you, hey JJ, here's the events that I want
We
for
can,
the year.
And with that, we're in the middle of presentation.
we can
So,
go from 6 each to
we'll
maybe
finish-
say 4.
We'll let Ms. May proceed and finish with the presentation.
We got a question real quick.
Oh,
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, we can't cut like from 6 down to 4. each.
that's up to them, right?
That's a council.
Yeah, it's a council.
That was actually talked about in budget, by the way. That was brought up in budget.
They'll go.
They're gonna go back and visit to
Find
see.
out.
They're gonna budget, they're gonna talk.
You can come by us.
Y'all have a good one.
God bless.
Thank you so much. God bless you on your new adventure.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank JJ and Miss Stanley and Miss May for being great directors and giving me this knowledge that I have now that I'm going to take to a different city and make that great. 'Cause
We're gonna miss
this
you.
was a little one, but
Definitely gonna miss
yeah,
God
you
bless
got it on
you.
a great
Take care.
board, do great things. The city needs us and they need more things. But we need to focus on our youth a little bit more. So, yes.
Take care. God bless you.
Blessings.
Bye-bye.
So, that's, I mean, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, but I think we answered your question, Mr. Morales.
Partially, I think we can have a better discussion. We can put it on the agenda next time.
Okay.
Correct. We'll get to discuss that as a bullet point number 9, Mr. Morales. That way, we can go ahead and submit an item on bullet point number 8, I'm sorry. Ms. May is going to proceed with the presentation in regards to the special events.
So you can see. So our Bikes in the Parks program we've reached out to more than 10,000 people. It's been very successful. We started in June of 2020, so we already a year into the program. Next.
And these are spread throughout the whole city.
This is, yes, and I have all the parks here that we're currently, Independence Hill Park. It's at Haynes Recreation Center. Jovita Idar, each park has a bike trail they can ride the bikes. As you can see, there's families there. North Central Park, which is our busiest one,
Is that extendable into the Charlotte trails?
no,
No.
no, they have to
You
stay
can't
in the
cross
area.
location.
No, they have to stay in the
Eventually,
area.
there's gonna be
of
a
the park.
connection later on down the road in the master plan.
So, Father Magnavall. And,
Hold on. Coach, a while ago, they were commenting about wanting to expand that program, and Rick mentioned the possibility of doing it, and so did our chair, by the way, he was nominated chair.
Oh.
And so he was mentioning the possibility of doing it into Shiloh bike trails.
Okay.
And perhaps doing credit card operated so that you didn't have to have staff there. And you take it, you charge it on your credit card and you use the trail.
But we'd have to ensure that they're mountain bikes.
Yes.
So, you know, have some station there, maybe with 10 bikes, you try out, if they never bring it back, you know,
some
they'll be charged
cities
your
have,
card.
some cities have the other metal bikes that can do that. San Antonio has it, Corpus has it, I've seen those type of bikes, but they're just regular riding bikes.
Well, those are mountain bikes, right there?
Yeah, these are mountain bikes.
These are mountain.
That's all you need.
Can I go back
You don't
one?
need anything more than that.
Right, but we would have to man, if we do it on Shiloh Trail, we would have to have staff. The bikes are open from 7 to 12, and in the afternoons from 4:30 to dusk, and it's usually, we change it depending on the time of the year. So right now it's until 8:30.
Maybe not a full site, but maybe a mobile site, or you could do it maybe Fridays and Saturdays, or
Right,
Saturdays
yeah.
and Sundays, or
We have a little trailer, I mean, that we can put them inside the trailer and take them over there.
test it, if it works, if not.
Yeah. We have different types of bikes for those that were asking. So from 29th to 28th to 27th to smaller, plus little kids' bikes for children with the training wheels. We have those too.
Like the ones you were asking for.
Yeah, somebody was asking for training wheels.
Bro.
No, I thought the same thing.
I'm looking at the middle one and I'm like,
I'm telling you,
That
yeah,
might work,
I thought the
man.
same thing. I was like,
We have a big, we have a 29,
look like a
we have
6.5,
29.5, which is the biggest one. And these are expensive bikes. If they're taking a beat, we're trying to get some new ones, but because of the pandemic, it was hard to buy bikes in this time. We're finally getting quotes.
Academy was empty of bikes. They
No,
didn't
no,
have any.
everybody, I mean, not even like Pro Bike, which is the local guys, and they had none. They were like, I can't get to a quote, I can't get bikes in. So, but finally they're able to start getting bikes in. Next slide. So the month of July was Parks and Rec month, and so we started with the Splash and Shows, which is movies at the park, but with the splash, meaning that we had water games, free popcorn, free raspas. We came up with a slip and slide that you can see in Century Park. Face painting. On Concord Hills, we used the train on all of them. On Concord Hills, we had the special needs train, and this girl was very, very happy when we gave her a ride on the train. You were there on that.
I was there, she was.
She didn't want to get off. Go ahead, next slide. These are the ones that we've been able to do. Blas Castañeda's Park. We also, because of Parks and Rec, we put a board where it says our story, where people can write what park they visited and what they've done in the park and what they like from the park. Next slide, please. Seven Flags was very successful. We've never done anything at Seven Flags, and it's a beautiful park. I love that park.
You want to tell where 7 Flags is, más o menos? You want to tell them where 7 Flags is?
Seven Flags is on the creek. It's
Ryan Elementary.
by Ryan Elementary. Beautiful park, very big, with a lot of amenities.
No, like J.C. Martin.
Oh,
No,
Ryan.
I live there, I've never seen.
J.C. Martin and the creek, right behind it. There's some soccer fields there too. So it has a lot of amenities, and it has a skate park.
Martin?
Right behind it.
Or her brother mine, well, you pay
Yeah.
shirts and all that.
The train is always a big attraction, everybody loves it. So we took the train everywhere. We still have pending Father Magnabo, Chimayo, North Central, and Slaughter because of COVID, we stopped. So we're gonna get those at a later date. Okay? We also did the Hit, Pitch, and Run, which is a competition for the youth and the kids. We did this at Unitrade, and it was very successful. The winners here, if they did the good times, they would go on to regionals and then nationals. Next.
Oh, they had that at the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
The All-Star game is where they get the
It's
champions
sponsored by
stuff.
MLB. We also did a bike clinic this last week at Father Magnabo, where we had all the bike companies to the locals to come and do a clinic and show how to safety on bikes, also the police and the border patrol, and showed them how to ride a bike and show them the safety and actually what they do on the bikes. It was very interesting. We have coming up on Saturday the Bull Run. This is council driven, but we wanted to share it with you. This is next Saturday. Bull Run, they call it Bull Run, but it's a obstacle mud run.
Or it's not like in Spain?
No, it's not like I don't know why they call it Bull Run,
It's
but
this Saturday, no?
it's this Saturday, very early. We'll have there's registration going on,
I'm
and
gonna say I wouldn't do it.
yeah, we're gonna have a registration at Unitrade tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna go, we're gonna.
But you can also go online. This is our first event. We were gonna do this last year, and because of COVID, we had to postpone it. It's gonna be our first 5K on the runway at the airport. So you're gonna be actually able to run or walk on the runway. We're expecting a big crowd on this one. This is gonna be on October 9th, 2020.
A very slow day. Flights.
There's 2 runways, we're gonna be able to
Delays
use
on
one.
flights.
We'll use one way and the other runway will be open to traffic. So it's gonna be done on the old side of the airport, the old terminal.
Y'all remember the original terminal?
21 now.
That's where that's gonna,
2020.
it's
The update that you.
2021, yeah.
gonna be fun.
Oh, wow.
That's where they have the air show, right? That's the.
That's the area where they have the air
The air
show.
show.
That's where it's gonna be. We're gonna have planes where people can take pictures and everything.
No, that's the old runway, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other runway, exactly. Besides this, we're gonna have concerts in the park. We're holding off a little bit because of the COVID. That's the other project that we do. We started right before COVID and it was very successful. Our first one was at North Central Park. We do different themes. That one was back to the 80s, very successful. Then we did one at Independence Hills. That was Música Tejana, depends on what side of town. And then when COVID hit, we were getting ready to do a tribute to Selena, where we're gonna have a different singing contest, and lookalikes and all of this. So that's still in the works. We're waiting to see what the numbers look like so we can pencil it. And those are parks and recreation events.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor.
Thank you, good job.
We have now, number 4, we have a budget,
I'm gonna go.
that's gonna be
Let
presented.
me show you all the budget. I'm not gonna sit here and go through all the slides. I just want to just kind of put the main points. This is what I presented to council last week. It was a tedious 4 days, long days of budget. But, by the way, this is the pier at Jovita, at Barley Park, Jovita.
Nice.
Yeah, if you get a chance, go around this time of the day, the sun sets towards the west, and you have that right behind it. It looks great, looks awesome. A lot of people, like, including me, I'll be the first one. I worked for the city for United for 29 years. I had no idea we had a lot of stuff, guys. So hopefully we want to promote that with the website to make everybody know what's going on. Okay, go ahead. Our mission statement, which is to provide recreation programs to our parks, memorable events, and outdoor celebrations that respond to the needs of the public and promote individual and community health. This is our department overview. We have the 3rd biggest department in the city. We have 228 full-time employees. Administration, there's a total of 12. Recreation, there's 80.58 on the way on West Pine Point. We kind of classify them, and depends if they're part-time or full-time, how we add that up. And then aquatics, which one of the biggest challenges this year was to get lifeguards. We could not get lifeguards to save our lives. That's why we leveled up the pool. We tried everything. We tried everything to get lifeguards. Back when I was growing up, you couldn't wait till summer or go to apply already in January, February, because you wouldn't even want to go work at the Civic Center pool. And now we had a hard time. It got to a point, ladies and gentlemen, that we had to offer classes, certification classes, for free. Normally they pay $120, if I'm not mistaken, $150?
$150.
$150 to get certified. So you know what? City manager said, drop the fee. Anybody, as long as you're 18 and over, can get certified, because that's something we need lifeguards. So we dropped the fee, and that kind of helped get the numbers up. We needed 59 lifeguards. We were still short, about 10 or 12 towards the end there.
Oh,
And
sorry,
then, bring it back, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
And then on the maintenance side, we have a total of 83, these are the people that do the maintenance of the construction of the parks. Urban and horticulture forestry, which we have a forester, and they're gonna do all the family gardens that we have, it's 5. And then at Unit Trade, in 4 leagues, we have a total of 7 employees at Unit Trade. Working the leagues as well.
You're the 3rd largest behind fire and police?
Behind,
Fire police.
no, well, that's another, I'm talking about, it's public works and utilities, and on the operation side. On the operation side, yes, sir. Okay. All right, what did we do? How were we affected? Our rec centers got closed down, our pools got shut down, and Unit Trade and all the sports leagues and the golf got shut down. So what happened? 25 employees and 25 recreation employees from the rec centers and the pool, for a total of 26. They all got reassigned. 22 went to the health department, 4 went to health community, and then odds and ends, we went to different places that we had to do. What did we do during that time?
It's not me.
We have to beautify the parks, the fields, and the rec centers. That's when we say, you know what, this park, the swings need painting, so I want those, you know, and they said, and they were great troopers because, hey, I didn't sign up for this, you know, but we needed help, they stepped up for us, and I couldn't, so now you go, I know we got our challenges with the parks, but now all the little details are done, you know, because our rec center staff was the outdoor parking, which you heard right now, and then we opened up the tennis courts as well, that we were managing the tennis courts. Go ahead. This is some ideas of what I'm talking about, the beautification park. They went and painted, and at Unit Trade, we put new rubber mulch at the playground. We had a concert, we had 2 concerts, and we had to put a new floor in at Unit Trade. That took about, maybe about 50, 40, about 30 of us, 2 days to put that new flooring down for that we did at Unit Trade. So all our guys and girls went over there to go help us out. So this is what the staff did. Tennis programs, this is Market Haynes that we talked about now, earlier. You know, we've had so far, the 11,000, one of the newest ones that we just opened was United Day. We went in an MOU, and now we're looking into doing that more, FY. Councilwoman Cigarroa, we're in the talks right now. She wants us, and we're working with LCC. As you know, LCC dropped all their athletic programs. So, there's a softball field, there's a baseball field, they have a nice facilities over here, especially LCC Maine.
The tennis courts.
And the tennis courts as well. Lighted, they have a nice championship tennis court. So, in talking to Councilwoman Cigarroa, you know, we're in negotiations with LCC Maine and LCC South so that we can have an MOU, especially in District 8, where there's not a lot of, you know, recreation parks and no fields. And hopefully we can come with an agreement with them. We've been to the table 2 times already. I think we're gonna meet here next week to see where we can have an MOU, and that way we can open to the public, especially in this people, the citizens in District 8 can go to LCC and use the softball, the swimming pool there, the tennis courts. It's a nice facility. It needs a little bit of work, but I mean, nothing, it's a lot cheaper than having to build something.
They have a pool?
But
Yeah, they have.
By the tennis courts.
Do they have soccer fields?
And they have, when I walked up to the field, they have like 3 multi-purpose fields, and my eyes lit up about this big because we are very short on fields.
And y'all would still have to man, let's say the MOU with LC.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We would
Y'all would still have to man additionally the services from the parks from.
That's
LC?
correct. Part of the MOU is that, hey, okay, we'll lend it to you, whatever, but you need to have staff here and make sure that between the hours of operation, so we will get rec center staff to go help us. I mean, not all day, for example, in the summer, we would open up the pools, same hours, from 2 to 10. While in the mornings, they would do using it themselves, and then we would, and then it's all together, I don't know if you've been there or not, but it's all together like a mini complex.
Yeah.
So we would just take maybe two people to run, to oversee the project. I can have my leagues over there playing, because we're short on fields.
Yeah.
Soccer field, they got a softball field, they got a baseball field that needs some work, but, you know, and then in the back, they got about they have a nice walking trail. I was
We
very
could probably
impressed
even
with.
do the bikes, because.
And we could probably do, there you go, we could do the bikes as well there too.
Campus and.
Because, I mean, it was my eyes, that I
Very
hope
nice.
we can make it work with LCC. It's a win-win for them. They're not using it, you know, we need more activities, especially in that, in District 8. And Councilwoman Cigarroa really wants us to get this going, so we've been in talks. We should be meeting again with them in about a week or 2, so that they can give us the numbers. Okay, so let's see how much it's gonna cost us, what do we need to improve, and let's start negotiating, so.
One of the things throw in there is to get like an office, because they have those.
And they have an
buildings-
office.
They have buildings that don't have anyone in there.
No, inside the complex, there's an office.
So like where you guys can have someone there in case.
We can have a
Storage, use it for storage.
Yeah, but they have a little office, storage, and concessions that que no se usa. So believe me, already my eyes lit up when I saw all that stuff here,
You
because.
are pursuing though just the main campus, not the.
And south. And south.
Good.
Yes, ma'am, and south. At south, we have the tennis courts, a baseball field,
Soccer field.
and they have a soccer, but Laredo Heat is using it right now. But I'm in the contract, we're gonna put that, we can use it when we have tournaments. So in other words, okay, we're gonna have a tournament, a soccer tournament, so we can use, the soccer field. So yeah, so that's exciting, and I brought that up, because just clicked my mind about tennis. We're looking into that, and hopefully about the next time, we'll give you an update where we are with LCC.
The tennis courts at TMU, are those city or those
The ones that are gonna be building,
ones.
okay, we'll talk about that in the next one.
That's on the next.
That's the next one.
okay,
yeah.
just the
So,
tennis.
so yeah, exciting for, for District 8 and, for everyone, but especially, that we're gonna be able hopefully to get something going with them as well over there, so. Go ahead. Our outdoor biking, as you saw, go ahead. Okay, just a quick overview of our budget. We have a budget of 15.8 million, okay? 8.8 million goes towards our parks division. 7 million goes towards our rec, which is the rec centers, the aquatics, and the pools. Okay?
Almost 50/50.
Yes, almost 50/50. A lot of this stuff, as you can see, of course, it goes into maintenance, just the maintaining of all our facilities. Our horticulture, which is trees, and then the administration is about, 8%, 4%, and 88% of it goes towards our maintenance. Over here on the rec center side, as you know, because we have with staffing and all the things we gotta do, it's 73% of it, and then close to 2 million goes to the aquatics. So this is kind of our overview of our budget.
Coach, I know that previously there was Berman who had the horticulture position. Has that been filled, or is that still a position that exists within the department?
Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. When this COVID stuff hit, one of the things that the management or everybody, we had to cut back. So we unfunded, and correct me if I'm wrong, ladies here, we unfunded about 20 positions. We still have them, but they're not funded. Okay? So now with the budget, this budget, we were only able to get certain amount budgeted back. Okay? So to answer your question, Mr. Chair, no, that position has not been filled yet. It's still there. No, we converted it into a construction superintendent. Okay? My hope is to later on bring, I'll tell you what we're gonna put that, we make that also, because we want to put a park planner. That's what we want to eventually gonna go there. Okay?
Wish
Yes.
list.
What's that?
I heard the wish list term was being thrown out
Yes.
a lot, so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, go ahead, Chris. Our overall budget, 4.4 is in contractual services. This is something that we go out, we outsource, that we have to do. Materials and supplies is about 1.4 million, and then our personnel, which eats most of the pie, is about 62% on personnel. Again, you saw we have 225 full-time employees pretty much in our department. Okay, go ahead, Chris. Our inventory keeps adding, but 70 parks, 58 baseball, football fields, 30 soccer fields, 27 tennis courts, trail systems, 11 splash pads, 9 swimming pools, 8 rec centers, 7 dog parks, plazas, because we also maintain the 5 plazas here. Those very challenging, just FYI, very challenging because of the homeless. We have to, that is a, it's a citywide, that we have to deal with. But we have to go and take care of it.
Plaza, they're trying to clear them out.
The
We're not clearing them out, but for a while, the old library there, it was a mess. I don't know if anybody saw it, all the closing and
Yeah,
everything.
no, sir, it's a city problem, and we trying to, something happens, we have, our crews have to go clean it up, power wash it. We have a farmer's market, we gotta go power wash it. So we have, it's there, but we also maintain the plazas, by the way.
Does that include the Bridge 2, 3 blocks of?
Okay, the 4 blocks?
Yeah, the 4 blocks.
We maintain it as well. That thing's.
And also, let's also recognize that this is the first year that you all won't have the cemetery as well, right?
This is the second year. Second year that we don't have the cemetery.
So, the cemetery used to be part of.
Used to be part of the parks. Why, I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
Let me go back to Bruno Plaza real quick.
Okay.
Is there any plans in the future to fix all those, like the water fountain? I know it's working and all that, but the actual decor around it, the tile and all that on the other little thing.
Right.
Yeah, it's redone by Public Works.
Yeah, okay, so that's a little, that is because of the historic behind it.
Right.
I told my guy, don't even touch it, so we would have to go back with the historic committee, the historic commission, and tell them, okay, because it's hard to find those tiles, if I'm not mistaken, it's hard to go back and, when you're talking many years, it's hard to find anymore making those tiles. There's a lot of history behind that.
Oh, yeah.
And, I just told the guys, don't mess around with anything, just go out there clean, because there's yes, sir, to answer your question, they're looking into it, and that's the historic commission committee that has brought that up.
Yeah, because, I mean, it looks nice, but then if you get close to it, you say, wow,
Right.
no
yeah.
upkeep.
Right, yeah, no, and it kind of falls back on us, but that we can't, we maintain it, we do the fountain, the actual water pump and all that, our guys from Aquatics do it, but all the decor, I guess you wanna call it, that's something else, that's another animal there.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of history behind it. So this is pretty much our inventory, Sisters of Mercy, Eritrea Nursery, and then hopefully in about a couple of weeks or maybe less, this is a little mini fitness center that Dr. Mate built at North Central Park. We had 2 racquetball courts at the swimming pool, so he came up with the idea, hey, we don't have a rec center in the north. And I said, we, because I live over there, I'm sorry. We don't have a rec center in the north, so what he did, with his discretionary money, he got one of the racquetball courts, and I wish we could have put it, we'll show you pictures of it. And he did a mini fitness Gold's Gym with a treadmill, 2 decks. You got your exercise stations at the bottom. You got your dumbbells and your bands and all that stuff in one. Really neat, looks really neat, inside the pool. So he was trying to kind of do a mini rec center, fitness center up in the north. So this just came into our inventory. Hopefully we'll be opening it up whenever they allow us now. So
How's the golf course doing?
Yeah, what's your extent at the golf course?
good question. So the golf course by contract is a third party, Golf Unlimited, okay, Golfscapes Unlimited. They are the managing, right. Us as the city belongs to the city. So they maintain it, they have their own crew, they have their own superintendent, they do all the stuff. What do we do? In the contract, if anything breaks down at the clubhouse, if anything breaks down, recently we have pipes breaking, and so we go and assist. Our construction guy will go and assist that. But as far as cutting the fairways, cutting the greens, cutting the slopes, the sand bunkers, if they need our help, we will go send them over there to help our guys. Last year we sent our guys because we put new double wash sand on the greens, on the sands of the greens. Yeah. So I sent about 6 to 8 guys to go help. But they have a management company, pretty much the way the arena is run by SMG. Mm-hmm. The arena is run by SMG. It belongs to the city, but it's run by a third party.
I was gonna say Casablanca, but I've been going there since.
Mm-hmm.
I have never seen it in such great shape.
Yeah, it's great shape.
And people are there all the time.
Yeah. Now, speaking of, I'm gonna throw this thing at you, and maybe this is a little pitch for you all to talk to your councilman. We have a Max Mandel golf committee. That was about a year and a half. Just like this, we have a committee. One of the things they want to do, and we're looking into, is lighting up the range, and then lighting up holes 10, 11, and 12, and make them to part 3s. So that way people can go at night, because it gets really hot here, go hit the range, go play 3 holes of golf, and hang around the restaurant and the bar.
I work about 5-6 miles from there, back in town, on my job, and if it had a lit up range, after work, I'd go.
Yeah. Right. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to get people.
Yeah.
It's worth the drive. It's a beautiful course. I play.
Is there a shuttle system?
No. So that's one thing that I'm trying to. We have with hotels, with CBB. If you stay at the La Posada, they shuttle you over there and all that. But I wish we had, and I'm not being biased. Okay, I play golf. To me, that's the jewel that it's a hidden gem. Yeah. I mean, people come, wow. I would put it up against any course in San Antonio, other than maybe the Domain and the 2 courses I haven't played on, but I would put it up against any course.
Yeah, and I know that golfers here travel specifically just to utilize the maps.
Right.
So I know that it isn't, but I know that one of the reasons is the distance.
The distance and traffic.
The nearest hotel is back in town, they want to go have a good time. We can encourage that, but I think the city, we promote it.
Traffic.
But
We'll do
that to the max.
Friday at 4 in the afternoon.
Fridays are terrible, all those, the bridge is packed.
Yeah, no. So, but it just, once they open up, hopefully that Hart River Road or whatever is going to connect 35 to Mines Road.
Ruthinger.
I hope once they connect that road, that's going to be a big asset to the golf.
But those par 3s will help a lot, because I remember Riverside in San Antonio had like a little par 3 9 hole, And at lunchtime, businessmen would go out there and they would spend.
San Pedro, on San Pedro?
Yeah.
San Antonio, with light poles.
Riverside, Mount
Yeah,
Roosevelt.
with lights on it. Okay, just real quick on our maintenance division, just to kind of have an idea, we maintain, Chris.
She's eating fire. Stop eating.
We maintain 1,206 acres. Undeveloped acres, we have 191. That's a total of 1,300, close to 1,400 acres that we maintain. Well, in total that we have. Groundskeepers, we have 61 groundskeepers, okay? The maintenance ratio right now that we have is 20 acres for every one employee, for every groundskeeper, so it's challenging for us. Yeah, the National Recreation Parks Association recommends, in the perfect world, that you have one groundskeeper for every 10 acres.
So you need double the amount of manpower?
Yep. So we're, our guys are trying to, a lot of people don't realize, hey, why can't encontramos parques? Ooh, wait a minute, man, we gotta, so we've asked our employees, you know, we got some employees back, hopefully we can raise that, but in all honesty, thank God we had all this rain, no llegamos a agosto, you know, so cortamos and not even 3-4 days later, we get into 301 calls.
And if I can echo to that, Coach, and I know that this board has brought it up before, but looking forward as to when the city is gonna continue to build more parks, to avoid pocket parks. There's areas.
That's in the master
where
plan, right?
There's a lot of, so in the master plan, we've abandoned that idea of building pocket parks. There used to be, you know, a small park for a small community. Now, I think that the bigger picture, we need to look at it is have bigger parks. That way we're not.
They're called regional and metropolitan parks, like North Central Park, Slaughter Park. That's what the master plan said. Let's get away, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Okay, I live in San Isidro, Bolívar United High School. Within a mile and a half radius, there's 3 parks. La Primavera, La Primavera, Los Encinos, and Washingtonia, or Los Palmares, within a mile of each other. So our guys have to pull them out of North Central Park, because it's the same crew, to go cut those 3 parks. Así van medio día cada parquecito, believe it or not, all the tedious. So guess what? North Central Park takes the hit, right? Because that thing's an animal. We have 2 crews at North Central Park. We have this lado that goes gym crew and that lado that goes gym crew, you know, so that thing is a monster in itself, but yet we gotta go cut those 3 little parks, those 3 little pocket parks.
2 days.
And I think that the best way to solve it is through statistics. How long does it take this crew to maintain these 7 parks? How long does it, because in a few years, we're gonna be adding the South Sports Complex. We're gonna need more manpower down there, we're gonna need more individuals to, you know, to.
I'm gonna talk about that here in just a minute.
It's gonna be a whole different ballgame.
No, yes, sir, and that's what we're gonna need, manpower, you know, skip. Okay, go ahead. Our recreation division, as you saw, you know, currently we have 143 field positions, we have 83 positions filled in the recreation side. Now, we're scheduled to open on August the 16th, I think Anita already spoke to you about the hours and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Pending whatever happens on Friday.
Yeah.
But it's only for seniors, 62 and over, and exercise only. No va a haber bingos, y no va a haber, you know, lotería, and just come and work out.
Sorry, Poncho.
Yeah. Go ahead. Our horticulture forestry, this is the different, the different gardens that we have throughout town. Canseco is really nice, it's starting, you know.
What are they gonna do with that building after all?
We have not been in there, we actually had a meeting.
Very nice.
Well, maybe next time we'll meet there, we just have to get it, before we can meet there, we already have a meeting room. I just took some,
That would be very good, very nice.
I just took some furniture over there, we did a little living room.
Cause I pass by there every day and, you know, I see where they fixed it up and everything.
Yeah, afuera todo necesita, esto needs some work,
Yeah.
but it's come a long ways.
What exactly, what like road stuff, what happens? Like everyone always asks me, you're the.
Okay, so that is a
What happens with everything there, and who can go in there, and it's kind of like.
So we have so who can go in there? We have volunteers, I think my battery's dying, Chris, my screen, someone went to, I don't know what to say.
Oh, yeah.
So who can go in there? We have volunteers that sign up, they get us volunteers, and we average, they go Saturday mornings, all right? And we average anywhere between 8 to 10 people on good days, all right? And they go and harvest it with one of our employees. One of our employees from the horticulture is there with them, guiding them whatever they need. Now, what do? They get that food and they bring it over to the farmer's market, all right? Some of it they sell, some of it they give away, or anybody can go by and pick up. Hey, they donate it to to the food banks, or they donate to the community. So that's basically, now, how much is coming out of it, it depends, it depends cuánto sale de ahí.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at it, we have the manpower and everything there, but I'm thinking, we're talking about funding and budget and this and that, I mean, my thing is, I've seen the one on Canseco, I work at the credit union there, and I see it every day, and I'm just like, it's always the city guys, so why are we building these things when the city's maintaining it? I haven't seen a group of people go out there, and yes, I'm not there at the office on Saturday, but
Right, yeah. Our guys, just to give you an example, our guys go on Monday and Thursday morning. And then the volunteers, now they have a guy, Mr. Moreno, the Lucas, which is the nonprofit organization that pretty much took over now. He's actually taking over the Conseco, and that's funded to the third party of the city. So that's a different.
So it's still city money?
Yes, it is.
It's still, whether you do it Parks and Rec or you give.
Well, it'd be nice if we have a meeting there.
Yeah, we can go have a meeting, but yes, I get your point. I get your point. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
All right, our rec center attendance, as you know, we got great attendance. We had, very little as the years went out. Once we open, we're gonna offer all these activities that way. Hopefully soon, we were looking for animals, and then we get, unfortunately, we've been hitting the snack here. But, our attendance, of course, in this past year, fiscal year, we didn't open at all. Go ahead. Our tennis program has been successful. These are the ones we've been opening. Our aerobics, our aquatics. The only thing that we opened up late this year, I think it was in sometime late May, early June. When we opened, we're still offering water aerobics at Inner City Park and North Central Park. Water aerobics, lap swimming, and all that. That's not going to stop. That's going to go year round. And that we've been doing. Go ahead. Completed projects. Through all the projects that the councilman has given and councilwoman has given us to different districts, it's about 1.3 million. Now, it's not 80% of it comes from the councilman's or councilwoman's discretionary funds. Okay? There's times that we can't buy something, or we buy it, but we able to say, you know what, we'll buy councilman or councilwoman, and then you buy me 2 park benches and to swap it off, whatever the amount was. So we'll buy it, but they'll buy us benches or whatever we need, picnic tables, or whatever we need.
Swings or whatever,
Right.
like kids.
Right, because their discretionary funds can only buy so many things. That's a lot of them. Go ahead. Our upcoming projects, as you can see, District 1, we're doing an exercise station at Independence Park, an ADA playscape station at Independence. District 2, we're going to put a basketball flooring at the Niceville all-weather. I think Divine Mercy has it right now. Really nice. My goal is for every district to have that floor. It's about $30,000 and you can custom made it, and it's made out of rubber, and you can play. I mean, it's awesome. We'll hopefully bring you pictures next time. We're doing a splash pad there that should be completed. Anita, what was that meeting yesterday? What was the last thing on that? Splash pad?
It was delayed again because of rain weather, so we're looking at about September, first week in September.
First week in September, okay. Like at Second Home Garden, the solar for Councilman Merck, which is in South Laredo Bird Center. The Armando Cisneros, which is the park right next to Margarito Benavides Rec Center, the little park there. We're fixing it up. The Clark Median, Clark is gonna be and then we're gonna design it with nice little design with as you go into the Heights area. So that's Councilman Torres. There's gonna be a dog park at Bartlett Park, which is what we figured out. Heritage Park, some park improvements over there that needs to get fixed up. This is coming soon at North Central Park on the north rim, over there by Murphy's, behind Convergys. There's a detention pond. And talk to Councilman Councilman Dr. Marte, we are short on fields, so we're building 4 practice fields on the detention pond.
And that's the area that was previously used for the concert, correct?
Yes, that's it, right there. Yes, sir. And then there's also gonna be a big old ADA playscape right next to between the pool and the trailhead. That's gonna be a good $455,000 project through councilman funds and donations. The tree house over there at the Baskin Rec Center is going to be a nice tree house. They should be mobilized, actually, today, there was a meeting today. What was the update on that?
Mobilizing on Monday, it's gonna take about a week to set up, and it's gonna take them about 2 months to.
First of a kind, guys, this is gonna be really neat, first of a kind, a tree house, has been in the making since a while now, so hopefully, y'all will get this done here pretty soon. Belmont Park, which is the Councilwoman Perez wants to do a little park, right next to the mall, where the Laredo Times is, that little Belmont area, there's nothing there for them, so she wants, there's some area there that's open, the city land, they wanna do a little park there in Belmont. District 8, for Councilwoman Cigarroa, Lafayette Park, it's a really nice park. Of course, we need some work, unfortunately, as you know, we have some issues with vandalism. So, the Lafayette Park, right underneath the bridge, it's called skate rink. You know, we're gonna put new nets, new lighting. Hopefully, that will deteriorate all these guys from maintaining all the damages. All right, and then, the senior, we had a senior rec center right around the block here, which was right across from the Quinta Hamilton Hotel. All the people from the Hamilton Hotel would go and attend, but it was federally funded, and Anita can add more to it because I know she worked before that. It was federally funded, the private owners took over the building now, so we had to move out.
So that was for, right next to Hamilton, no?
Right next to the hotel, right across la calle de the pharmacy.
Yeah, because there used to be the old Kennedy campaign headquarters back in the
That's you.
60s.
Before my time.
I go by there every day from St. Peter's to pick up the butters, Kennedy.
Okay, yeah, that was the Kennedy headquarters there.
I want to add that.
I bet that has his posters in there too. But anyways, that's closed, so what Councilwoman Cigarroa wants to continue it. So what we did a couple of weeks back, the old post office second floor is abandoned now. Used to be the courthouse. So it needs some maintenance, especially the elevator, which we're gonna convert that into a senior center now. The senior center que estaba ahí, that's gonna be now into the second floor of the post office.
Oh, wow.
So she already gave us a green light, and, you know,
The first floor is still post
the
office.
first floor, but the second floor with the old courthouse is,
Is that-
all that's
is-
gonna be
is
done
that a
into a
s-
senior rec.
Is that a city building?
That was bought by the city.
Really?
That was bought by
Oh,
the
I
city.
didn't know that.
I was there with the marshals for a time, for a long time
See?
ago, arriba.
Under the second floor, so with it.
I thought it was all
that was
federal.
taken care of.
It was court.
So,
Federal court.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what, they were thinking of doing CVB offices there.
yes,
right?
I went there,
Sometime
correct.
before-
CVB offices were gonna be there, and then they moved them over to,
Downtown,
El Portal,
El Portal.
over there, so that became abandoned. Expenditures that we've come out of our budget, this is from our budget, these are for special events that we've had, from fireworks to tree planting, we close to 60,000, y eso es que we didn't have a lot of events, you know, because of the COVID, so on the average, you know, it kind of doubles this, you know, when we have special events that come out of the, anything from Easter, there's your Canseco, Christmas, all that, you know, all that comes out, you know, anything that comes, you know, that comes out of our pocket, out of the fireworks itself is about 20,000, the ones we're talking about. It's 10,000 every time we do a fireworks show. So, yep, go ahead. And by the way, if you have not seen this is in District 1, Jose Analicia, Garza, sorry, Park. And this is just brand new, looks really neat. It's worth the drive to go take a look at. This is Councilman Gonzalez area. It used to be an old little, just a basketball court. We put a retaining wall with seats, and it's really, really nice. It's a new dome that hopefully we want to start incorporating these domes, these covers for the rest of the parks.
Is that tarp? The white is tarp?
No, it's hard plastic.
Oh.
So rain or shine, you can do it.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
It's very
It
nice.
looks very nice. Looks like a hanger, like a.
On these concepts, right, you may wanna, you're all looking at maybe implementing like at other parks that
That's-
don't, because, I mean, it looks great.
Right, so now all the councilmen said, hey, we want that too. Okay, but who's gonna be the sponsor? And so, that was done with his discretionary funds. And some CO money that he had from bonds
Okay.
that he had from, so this is what he put it there, really neat. It's worth to go look at it, believe me, it's in South Florida District 1. Okay, I think that was our budget in a nutshell, pretty much, presentation that we did last week. Any questions, I think we went along.
Who would be in charge, coach, of the cemetery?
Public Works is in charge now of the cemetery.
It should be.
Should be, yeah.
They are. Yeah, they did a nice little cabaña, palapa, really nice.
I saw that they approved the veteran monument and the
Yes.
angel monument as well, and
Right.
and they funded that, right?
That's correct.
That's the city cemetery.
That's city cemetery. Yes, sir. City cemetery.
Just real brief, Coach, I know that there was a section where, did you recommend anything for the wish list on the budget, or anything that you wish
Okay, this-
would be purchased for next year that
Right,
might be
okay, so
needed?
in pretty much, I requested, because we need, of course, to be able to maintain parks, you need all these machinery and all that. I was given close to $1 million in machinery and for operations, tractor, a dump truck, a forklift. Pretty much what I requested for, we were given $1 million, so we were right underneath $1 million that we got as far as capital outlay, okay? As far as employees or personnel, I got pretty much everything that we wanted, other than maybe a cement finisher that was not approved. Anything else that we got?
Irrigator?
And then what?
Master irrigator?
And a master irrigators, which is hard to find. One thing that we are very pushing that it's still approved is a park planner, and I'm gonna emphasize that we have a park planner position. What does a park planner do? He or she will go with new subdivisions, will come in, hey, I wanna build a park. Well, hold on, let's see what you got. Well, you know what, we don't need this amenities, he or she will coordinate with our planning and our building department, and okay, how much money is gonna come in, how much money is that subdivision gonna bring for the pit? So then he or she will, you know what, give us the money first. Right now, I cannot thank Anita enough, she's been pulling that duty. We're learning as we go, because that is not our, our sales game, because all of a sudden, I'm over here designing a park, and man, that's not what I do, but I muscle metals, and I think we need some expertise, and that's one of the positions that I was granted for a park planner. So we got some applicants that they just finished applying, that, believe me, once we hire that position, it's gonna make our department, and Gloria as well, Corsita también, trying to get money who's coming in, and who paid, and this subdivision paid, and unfortunately, there were a lot of records that, back in the years that were not recorded, that we lost a lot of money because nobody was on top of it. And also, Sarah, some subdivisions out there got away without paying their park improvement fee. I hate to say it, but hey, how are we gonna do it? Let's put somebody in charge of that, because that's a lot of money that we're losing. So whatever we pay this person is not enough, because we're gonna get that money in return, so that we can be able to build new parks, add more money to we're talking about, make Slaughter better, make North Central Park better, make Independence Park better, so we can make sure that we get the money in the correct.
And then now, aside from that, I know that now, since we have a master plan in place, as it was required for us to do many things, the biggest factor of that was so we'd be able to apply for state grants.
That's correct.
Or federal grants from the national, or from the state parks.
Texas Parks.
The Texas Park and Wildlife, and from the National Park Service. Now, with that master plan, we'd be able to present it. There's grants out there to beautify our parks without us having to dip into a current budget of the city parks. So that's gonna be a help. So if you all are familiar with grants and everything, to go out there and do a little research, so parks can, start looking into and kind of consider where to apply.
We did not have that tool, because the first thing they ask you, question number one, do you have a master plan?
No.
No, so shut it down. But when I came in, and it was 75% there saying, man, let's push this thing, because that's the only way we're gonna get money. And we finally got it together. It took us a while, but we were able to push it in. Now it got adopted, and we're ready to go, like Mr. Chair said. So now we got tools in our pocket that we can go out there and get money, that we don't have to reach into our.
Now, one of the things, Coach, I was gonna ask you, JJ, is, I know, like, you mentioned where you live in the United area, they're building a real brand new, like, they still haven't finished paving the road back there. It's all, when a developer comes in and they're gonna build that, is there a park or anything in mind, or is that gonna be connected to North Central Park? Because I know it's like wave 3 or 4 where it's a brand new subdivision, the roads aren't even paved, but all the lots, the majority of the lots are sold.
Right.
So eventually, is there gonna be a park back there? Is there gonna be?
Yeah.
Did you just say there was 3 within the mile?
There was three within a mile. There was brand new lots, because I walk through there every morning, up in La Paz too. All right? There's a little area there that's another park. And then there's a trail that goes around and connects pretty much San Isidro, which they call it Northeast San Isidro. All that trail is supposed to go around and connect. In the long scheme of things, what's supposed to happen is San Isidro, by the detention pond right next to bushes, is supposed to have an underwalk pass, a loop, to get into North Central Park, to connect.
So it's supposed to connect everything in that subdivision.
All that.
San Isidro Elementary, where you're at, all that should.
That big
be able
trail
to go
come
down.
underneath and then take it into North Central Park. It ties everything in. That's what we're, even though they're pocket parks, but that's what the
It's
master
supposed to be like,
plan.
let's connect the dots.
That's
so that
exactly
way-
Is there anything connecting the Shiloh bike trails to North Central Park?
Okay, so right now, well, not right now, in the future, as we're talking about engineering, you have McPherson where Pueblo Feliz is, right? North Central Park ends kind of right there. And then you have
Pueblo Palenque.
Pueblo Palenque, I'm sorry. And then on the west side of McPherson, as you go down maybe about 3/4 of a mile, down the bike trail, yes?
Yeah.
So the master plan looks like North Central Park comes around, goes into Pueblo Palenque, again, underneath McPherson, the trail will continue, take you into Shiloh back trails. Yes, everything into Shiloh back trails. That trail will turn north and go connect to Divine Mercy.
Yeah, Divine Mercy is back there.
So that's, again, connect the dots. Divine Mercy, trail comes around the Springfield extension, come into Shiloh, or the Shiloh back trails, continue the path underneath McPherson, through Pueblo Palenque, and connect yourself into North Central Park.
Springfield extension.
And then North Central Park hits north, and then there you go to San Isidro. So somehow, it's all gonna tie in the grand scheme of things, so to say.
Like the one that I've seen is the trail behind the UISD bus depot. There's like a-
Mike Goyle.
Yeah. Where does that go? Because it's just a straight line.
Yeah, right,
Like
it's a
you
straight
go
shot.
and you finish after you work out, you end up at Dunkin' Donuts. Like, that's the end of it, because at the end of the trail, that's where.
Yeah, that one is just the north and south hiking bike trail that connects to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm sure I'll put a gate there for you.
You ask where it takes you, that's where it takes you.
But one of the things, yeah, it's just north and south, it's a 1.8 mile trek, one way and back. One way and then back the other way. What's in the works right now we want to, and this is just FYI, what's in the works right now is, what's in the works right now is Mary Health, right behind Mary Health, there's the water tanks.
Yeah.
There's some fields there, and next to the water tank, there's about close to about 2.5 acres, and there's some soccer fields there. They were rented to a private academy. Well, we need baseball fields, especially the fields that we have a lot of trouble with, is Rangel Field. Rangel Field was built in a detention pond. So every time it rains, everything we did to fixing, all that dirt that we put ends up in somebody's house. So what we're gonna do is we want to, Councilwoman Perez already approved this. The plan is to move the fields from Rangel over to the lot where the water tanks are behind Mary Hill. Flat area, we don't have to worry about it. The only field that will stay in Rangel is the main one, which is the big field. All the little ones that are over there by the picnic area, those are gonna be moved.
Now, Coach, now we're talking about fields and stuff, we can move over to the next item,
There you
item
go.
number 5, which is sports complex.
Go ahead, yes, sir. You can give me one on this one. So let's go ahead and move it over, and then we'll go over to the last thing, which is the time use sports complex. Okay, just real quick, on Monday, we're gonna have a presentation for the firm. This is kind of the grand scheme of things, how it's going to look, okay? Right now, we're looking at phase 1, what we're looking at. Phase 1 being 2 clovers, which I call them clovers. Each clover has 5 fields, okay? 2 clovers and 1 pod. All right, 1 pod being, these are 2 multi-purpose fields. Soccer, flag football, whatever you want. And then one thing that I went to go visit 3 different complexes around the state. And one thing that I want to use to put them to use as well is these pods, we're gonna call it multi-purpose. We put a little baseball infield in there with turf. These are gonna be turfed out with. okay? Because of the maintenance, and our maintenance operation of the grass is gonna kill us. As you're talking about staff, Mr. Chair, you know, so if we go turf, we're not gonna need a lot of personnel here, all right? So, these fields will have an infield so that teams can practice, or you can put little T-ball games here playing on these fields, and you can play soccer, you can play football, you can play flag football, whatever it is. So phase one right now, we're looking at is building these 2 clovers and 1 pod being these 2 multi-purpose. Phase 2 will be adding 2 more pods and 5 more fields to phase 2. And then here where my finger is the future, is the water park that is gonna be built, that has been promised to this. It was gonna be a unitary area, but now they're gonna tie it into this area.
And I know
Where is
that,
Tammy Ewan reference to? I don't even see.
Where
Tammy.
Where is that?
Do you-
Oh, this is on. Yeah, this is over here.
Right around LBJ.
Worms or?
My question was, which way is north?
Okay, so here we go. This is okay, we're gonna zoom out because this
Hold
is.
on, coach, let me see if I can. Oh, but then you can't see the
Can
rest.
you drag it?
Yeah, this,
No.
it just, yeah, this is what's where we were.
Yeah, now I get it.
Okay, so this is, zoom out.
Wait, coach.
Where's LBJ?
LBJ is right here. LBJ is about right here where our finger is. Aquí está
¿Dónde está
LBJ.
más para acá, coach?
Más para abajo, way more down.
Way south.
Más para abajo.
Yeah.
Aquí está LBJ y aquí está United South.
You know, United South Annex 9th grade campus is right across from that.
Aquí
There's a
está.
Stripes and a United South
Right
Night
there.
Camp.
Not United. And then here you go down.
LBJ is
That's
further
right.
south, further down.
This is what, this
Just
road is going
north
to
of that, yeah.
LBJ todavía le falta.
LBJ está acá, estamos acá abajo. My head is over here.
Cielito lindo.
South is up here where I'm over here. So we're kind of right in between LBJ and South. That's what we-
Yeah, I know where Pita Man.
Right, so off-road, and then the main entrance is gonna be off of Lomas del Sur, the extension of Lomas del Sur. It's gonna come in, you're gonna have a lake there, beautiful, all these lakes are already built in there, they're natural
So the
made,
main entrance is gonna be,
through Lomas del Sur.
okay,
Through Lomas del Sur.
but you have to get through,
Huge road.
can you get on it through
Through the loop?
the loop?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The loop goes through here, and here's the other entrance right here.
Really nice.
So that's the plan. That's what's gonna be presented to council on
We get
Monday.
pretty wet with the
Yep,
the
you got
guys,
it,
the
that,
designers, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we walked it, last fall.
that's cool. Beautiful area.
Huge.
Beautiful area. So this is how, this is, we're looking into phase 1, and we're talking about is doing these 2 pods, I'm sorry, these 2 clovers, and the first pod, get it going. Again, Round Rock, all those big complexes that I went to, we talked to all of them, they were built in phases, they weren't just built,
Let's go,
you know, Round Rock is the capital of youth sports right now. You know, we wanna be able to compete with Corpus, San Antonio, the Valley, because now everybody has sport. Everybody has,
Sports complex.
sports complexes, but my biggest fight is we have to be able to turf it, because if not, it's gonna kill us on the maintenance and operation of these things. And for you can imagine the watering. Overall, all the complexes that we went to, all of them have turf. It pays for itself. It pays for itself, so to throw in the plug, please talk to your councilman and tell him, hey, make sure you all turf. Make sure we go.
Yeah, I think if they're gonna do the investment already, might as well already include that.
Yeah, it pays off in itself, like Mr. Chair.
Oh, so those fields, they consist of what? Softball,
Okay.
baseball?
Okay, so
everything?
this clover is gonna be baseball at 300 feet, but remember, you can always bring the fences in, right? So we're gonna put tick marks at different age levels so that we can put different bases at 60, 70, or 90. And then the fences, if we play a small group of 10, we can bring in temporary fencing. I can always move the fence in, but I can't move the fences out. That's why just get big fields of 300 feet, 380 dead center, and then these fields are your junior fields, which is 12 and under. That's where most of the money's gonna be, guys. You know, there's all these money makers. All this will be full of hotels, with the plan of hotels and restaurants and all that. And again, in the grand scheme of things, all this is supposed to be, the reason they do it is it's gonna be a whole bunch of houses back built over here. So, yes, and also in there as well, they wanna put a trail, they're gonna put a trail in there as well, that they wanna do for the people that are gonna live in that area, so they can use it every day. But we're excited about it, but it's hopefully.
Been there for a while.
And with that, coach, well, go ahead, Tim.
No, I'm good.
And with that, coach, would you like to move over to, also to speak on the tennis?
I'll let Ms. Stanley take over that one because she is This is kind of, every time we meet, I attend this one, and see, como cosas de ley, pasando el tennis. So she goes to that one, and I go to this one. So I'll let Ms. Stanley talk about more about that, because she's more in tune with, I mean, I know what's going on, but she will tell you more what's going on that, on the last item there.
Well, this is a $7.5 million project that was initiated back in 2014. It sits on 11 acres. The city of Laredo has entered into a joint use agreement with TAMIU. The city will have access to half the courts. There's 18 courts, 6 collegiate and 12 recreational. And so the city will have access to 9 of those courts at all times. There's different aspects of the contract that TAMIU is actually going to maintain them for the city, and so handle the scheduling, what have you. And so notice to proceed was given on this project back in August of 20. Completion date is approximately in mid-February. They are at about 45% complete. They're using Hellas Construction to build the court, the complex, and Musco Lighting is doing the lights for the complex. So we are very excited. This is long overdue, if any of you know Dina Trevino.
The doctor's wife.
Yes, you will know that she is ecstatic doing somersaults right now. She's a very avid tennis advocate for the city, and she has been pushing for this project. It was, as I said, it started in 2014, went out to a referendum. The community voted to proceed with this, and so for one reason or another, it was delayed. And so it started back in, this past year, we were able to give them notice to proceed, so.
If I can understand, I know that we were at the groundbreaking just last month, where it was, it's gonna be a beautiful course. And it's also very accessible for the community, of course. It's next to the dorms, right, at TAMIU?
It is, and so it is accessible. You go in through the main entrance, and you'll be able to, at the dead end, the courts are right there. So.
Right when you go in.
Right, and so it's got a pro shop, it'll have concessions, offices for the person who's managing the facility, as well as coaches. And so the city plans to bring, we've actually competed for 2 tournaments, level 6 with, level 5 with USTA, and we did receive them. They gave them to us in 2022, just to make sure.
When is this complete?
22 in February.
22? Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's around the corner. So, yeah, it's a big boon for the city, especially for the tennis community, but for the city as a whole. With this much court real estate, you've got the ability to compete for a lot of different competitions, because that's what they're asking for. Right now, the city, the largest complex the city has is Market Tennis Courts, which was 9 courts. And so we had to have tournaments at Market, at Haynes Recreation Center.
What's the biggest tournament during the year? Is it Border Olympics?
For tennis?
I don't think they
No.
have tennis for
No.
Border Olympics.
There's always been tennis.
Not in Border Olympics. Maybe in other tennis.
Not in Border Olympics.
Maybe there's other tennis.
There's airports too.
Border Olympics, con Linda Pichot.
Really?
Laura Pichot's always been.
I think they work with LISD, the school districts, to do those tournaments.
Yeah.
Right.
Border Olympics tennis. It was always the same weekend as the golf.
Just like the Kennedy Hospital.
Yeah, the Kennedy.
Since 19.
But that's something that they mentioned was.
That was with Kennedy.
They were next to the Kennedy
The
headquarters.
possibility of leaving space for additional courts if needed, right? Of tennis courts.
Yes.
Room for
Yes.
expansion?
There is room for expansion.
How about
And
this
this
one?
property was donated by the Killips.
Okay,
So
Border Olympics.
So this will be open to the public?
it is open to the public.
Like a regular park, 8 to 5, whatever time.
The complex?
Right.
Yeah.
The
They're gonna make
complex.
money on tournaments, man.
Exactly,
Brutal.
right.
It's gonna open up big time. All the bills.
We're excited.
How many
In
plates?
February, 18.
Now we'll move over with bullet point number 8, items for next meeting. Members, if y'all have anything that y'all would like to propose to be discussed at the next meeting.
Besides the one.
I think you all gave us some more, but if there's any more that we need to add,
Just,
I know that the city had that survey that went out, like, to all the citizens, what do you think is the most important? I think it was like, was it parks, was it,
Oh, yeah.
like, whatever happened with the results or whatever. 'Cause I know
I
that,
know we had to do that survey.
Right.
Who managed that? Was it PIO or?
No.
is it,
Who was that? I know Karen sent it to us, and so we, make sure you please it.
Right, so we got it from the city manager's office, but I don't know who.
You want like a
just kind of like, where were we ranked? Cause you know, they had like police, fire.
Yeah.
Where would we rank with Parks and Rec? Because it was like, list your priorities, and they could be there at the Kennedy House. But I think what we need to figure out is just to see where we were ranked from the city, where Parks and Rec was. Like, is it something at the bottom of the list or top of the list, just so that way it's informational for us, and what can we do to be at the top of the list?
I know that's something that we've pushed also, to have a tour. I know that as we were seeing some of these photos, we were asking, some of us not recognizing where they're at, and, you know, at no fault to us, there's over 100 parks. But if we could organize a tour with the board members, we can meet up on a Saturday morning or something and head out there and have an idea.
We'll have the gators out and go.
Have an idea of what we're dealing with, what decisions or what recommendations we're giving, if, you know, we're out there and we know what is it that we have. Including the sports complex.
The way they have it set up, come Monday on the website, we can take a virtual tour.
There you go. Yeah, that's something that y'all are willing and open to do.
I know we talked about that.
We can coordinate. We can coordinate on that, and then, I know that, Mr. Morales had an item regarding district events. He wanted to have a discussion on that, to possibly sending a recommendation to council. I'm not sure, and I won't speak for him, but I don't know if he was mentioning as to lowering or having some kind of input, but that's something that, of course, that we can have a discussion with council.
The update on the MOU with LC,
An update,
by then?
Ms. Gentry would be.
The MOU was updated, okay. And that's what I think it's Ms. so that's what we're looking into, do more and more MOUs with facilities, because with like United Day, that worked out really good. You know, they had the tennis courts, they were barely using it, you know, we didn't have any tennis courts in the north. We put some lighting in there, now it's.
The lighting was
And
very important.
and, you know, on Twitter, I saw a comment where the city was posting something and on parks, and someone left a comment and said, when are you even gonna